G'day guys, welcome to this RXY's V2 video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Hyundai Aleague for week 23's predictions for 2020 guys, so let's get started. So this first match of this game, we see the Brisbane Roar going up against the Central Coast Mariners. Really about this game, I think Brisbane Roar are going to have a really good lead. They have a very good quality players. I just reckon that Brisbane Roar are going to have a very experienced challenging for up against like this Central Coast Mariners, only because Central Coast Mariners are a very good side, but they've experienced a lot of struggling because they are at the really bottom of the ladder, which Newcastle Jets has just gone up only one. So it's 15th and 16th, so that means 16th means the wooden spoon and 15th doesn't mean the wooden spoon. So 15th means that's basically the second last on the ladder anyway. But let's talk about it. Brisbane Roar are a very good side. I just think that Henriquez is going to have that challenging lead, and I think he's going to play a very good game of football, but I just think how the way that this game's going to go, Brisbane Roar are going to have a very challenging scoreline. I just think that Central Coast Mariners are going to struggle a little bit because it is a away game for them, and I just think that how the way this game's going to go, I just think how the way that this game is going to be leading up against the Central Coast Mariners, I don't think that Central Coast Mariners are going to have a very good win, only because I just think Brisbane Roar are just going to put some pressure onto Central Coast Mariners, and I just think how the way that this game's going to go, I reckon that if this game's going to turn out a very good win, I reckon that Brisbane Roar are going to put a lot of pressure up against Central Coast Mariners, because Central Coast Mariners have lost a lot of games, and really they came from the start that to win a couple of games of the football, but really for a fact that it's a matter of time that if you want to basically win a game of football, but it's how you want to put a pressure on another team. So I reckon that this game's going to turn out very well. I'm going to go with Brisbane Roar on this one, and I'm going to go with 3-1 for my prediction and for the scoreline. I just think how the way that this game's going to go, I reckon that this game's going to turn out very well, and I reckon that Brisbane Roar are going to hold on with the lead up against the Central Coast Mariners anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Sydney FC going up against the Perth Glory. Really about this game, I just think that Sydney FC have turned out very well. They've won a lot of games of football. Pretty much a couple of players that I know. Emily Fondre is a really good player. He scores a lot of goals, and I just think how the way that this guy has turned out to be a very good player, I reckon that he's going to have that pretty much a very good lead. I just think what I mean is by a very good lead is I reckon that he's going to probably score goals, and I just think how the way that this game's going to go for this kind of match, I reckon Alex Wilkinson from the former Central Coast Mariners player, I just think that he's going to turn out very well. I reckon that this game's going to basically turn to a pressure. That means I reckon Alex Wilkinson will probably get a goal for some other reason, and I just think he's going to probably get 2 or 3 goals, but I reckon he's going to get 2 goals, and I just think that Sydney FC will probably turn out very well. I reckon that Perth Glory probably put a lot of pressure up against Sydney FC, and I really think that this game's going to turn out very well. But for the Sydney FC, I just think that they've turned out very well. They're champions of the game, and every type of game they played for up against Adelaide United, they've won every single game, and I just think they're going to turn out very well for this team. So I'm going to go with the Sydney FC, and I'm going to go with 2-1 on this one, only because that I reckon Perth Glory might get a goal, and I reckon that this game will turn out to be a very good game of football, and an interesting game of football, which I think that Perth Glory might get a goal for this one. So I'm going to go with the Sydney FC, 2-1 on this one, and I just think how the way that this game's going to go, I reckon Sydney FC will only win by 1 goal for that lead. So I'm going to go with 2-1 for that scoreline for my prediction, and I just think Sydney FC will win this game of football anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Melbourne City going up against the Western Sydney Wanderers. Now, this game's going to turn out to be a very interesting game. Mitchell Duke has played a very good game of football. I just think he's going to turn out very interesting, and I think Jay McLaren for the Melbourne City, I just think he's going to turn out to be a very good player for that team, and I just think how the way that this game's going to go, it's probably going to be a very hard game of football. And for this game, I just think that how the way that this game's going to go, probably Melbourne City is just going to be very hard, and I reckon Western Sydney Wanderers might turn out to be like putting a pressure on up against like Melbourne City. But for this game though, I reckon I reckon Mitchell Duke will basically score a goal to make that lead, and I reckon Melbourne City will turn out to be a very good team to basically get another lead, and I reckon that Melbourne City will probably win this one. But I'm going to think that if Mitchell Duke scores like a couple of goals, I just think probably likely, but not a very massive likely. So I'm going to say that I'm going to go with Melbourne City on this one. So I'm going to go with probably a 3-2 match. So I'm going to go with this one. It's going to be a classic game, and I reckon that it's going to be closely to think that if Melbourne City is going to win this game of football, I just think that this game is going to be a very good game. Only because that Western Sydney Wanderers can basically hold on with a good lead, but then sometimes another team can basically snatch on with the win and then basically win that game. So I'm going to go with Melbourne City 3-2 for my prediction, and I reckon that Melbourne City will win this game up against the Western Sydney Wanderers anyway. The next game of this round, we see the Wellington Phoenix going up against the Melbourne Victory. Really what I can say about this match, I reckon that Wellington Phoenix are a very good team. I don't think that if this game can be a turnout game of football, really about this game, Wellington Phoenix has stood a win, but then they come home with an actual win. So really for this game, I just think that Melbourne Victory will probably turn out to be a struggling team, but then sometimes I reckon that they'll probably turn out to an actual point, and I really hope that if this game can be a very good game, I just don't think that it'll be a very classic win. So really what I mean is, I reckon Wellington Phoenix will probably snatch a win for this one, and I don't think that Melbourne Victory will win this game. But really for this game, I just think that how I'm going to turn out for this point is really that if I want to think that Wellington Phoenix will probably win this game, it's probably less likely. So for this game though, I just think that if Wellington Phoenix can snatch a win, it's probably less likely. So about this game, I just think that probably Wellington Phoenix might win this game. So about this one, Wellington Phoenix have won a lot of games and they have losses, but then they turn out to be wins a couple of times. So I'm going to go with the Wellington Phoenix on this one, and I just think that Wellington Phoenix are going to win this game, and I reckon that Wellington Phoenix will. So I'm going to predict for this scoreline, and I'm going to go with 2-0. And I just think that Melbourne Victory will have a little bit of struggle, so that means Wellington Phoenix will definitely put a lot of pressure up against the Melbourne Victory anyway. So about this one, 2-0, and I just think if a couple of players will probably score for this one, I'm not too sure which players will, so I'm predicting that Wellington Phoenix will win this one by 2-0 anyway. And finally, the next game of this round, we see the Adelaide United going up against the Newcastle Jets. About this game, I just don't think that if this game's going to be a turnout point, Newcastle Jets might not win this game. Really, because they've been last on the ladder and they've been struggling a lot. So about this game though, they've won a couple of games which they came back and basically won a couple of games of football up against like Central Coast Mariners. I don't think whoever else. But really for this game though, I reckon that if this game's going to be a really good game, it's definitely for the Adelaide United side. But Adelaide United are a very good team, and for this game of football, I just don't think that Newcastle Jets will probably win this game. But I don't know for this game. So really for this one, I'm going to go with Adelaide United because Adelaide United have turned out to be a very good team, but they have lost a couple of games. But going up against Newcastle Jets, this one's probably going to be an easy one and an interesting game. So about this game though, I'm going to go with Adelaide United on this one. So I'm going to predict a very big scoreline, 4-0. And for this game, I just don't think that if this game's going to be a very good one, I don't think that Newcastle Jets will probably get a win or even score. So what I do mean that if Adelaide United can basically win the game of football, it's certainly for them, because I just don't think that Newcastle Jets will turn up to a lead and don't think they'll score anyway. So about this one, I'm going to go with 4-0, and I just don't think that this game's going to be a very good game of football. But for this game though, I'm going to go with 4-0, and I'm going to say that Newcastle Jets won't score at all. So really, Adelaide United can win this game of football anyway. Thanks guys for watching this video, guys. Stay tuned for more. I will be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, I'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, take care guys, stay safe, and have a good one.